Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Teaching Sylvanas Math. We are going to go over how to solve equations. Now, for this video, we're going to be talking about one-step equations. And this video is aimed for pre-IM1, for pre-algebra. If you are in Integrated Math 1, this is something you should already know. And if you don't, hopefully this video will get you there. If you are pre-IM1, pre-algebra, or lower level math, this will get you to be IM1 ready, to be algebra ready. But this is something that you need to be 100% comfortable with going into an Integrated Math 1 class. All right, let's get started. So the first thing you need to know when solving equations, you need to know your operations. Okay. So you need to know your operations, and what I mean by that is you need to know how things look. So if you have a plus, that is addition. If you have a minus, that is subtraction. If you have a dot or parentheses next to each other, or if you have a number or a variable next to parentheses, all of this means multiplication. Multiplication. Okay, so that is 3 ways for you to see multiplication. Now, there's also different ways to note division. So division, you might see a division sign, but you're not going to see that often in solving equations. More often than not, you're going to see a fraction. I'm going to put number over number, and that's going to be a fraction. And whenever you see a fraction, that means division. A lot of times you won't see the sign. You'll see something over something, and that's going to be your division. Now you need to know these operations and how they look like. If you don't, definitely contact me. We can set up a tutoring time. Not only do you need to know these operations, but let me back up. You need to know the inverse operation of these operations. What I mean by that is we're going to be talking about quote unquote canceling things or undoing things. So we need to know what undoes addition, what undoes subtraction, multiplication, and division. So we're going to talk about our inverse operations. And again, all of this is something you need to know before going into solving equations. So addition and subtraction are inverses of each other. They undo each other. Multiplication and I'm going to do A and B. So A divided by B. So multiplication and multiplication and division they undo each other, okay? So having that in our toolbox is really, really important. So now that we know our operations and now we know our inverse operations, we can get started with an example. Okay, for example 1, we're going to start out with n plus 16 is equal to -1. First step I want you to do, well, we'll write out our steps as usual. I need you to draw a dotted line I need you to draw a dotted line where the equals is. So what I mean by that is this vertically dotted line down where the equals. This separates your equation into two parts. This is part 1, this is part 2. We have two parts of the equation. Now that we have two parts, step 2 is going to be put a bubble around your variable. So you put a bubble, this was a typo, you put a bubble around your variable. So what is a variable? A variable is a letter that represents a number. We don't know what that number is, but we can figure it out. So I'm going to put a bubble around my variable. Now, if your variable is attached to division or is attached to a number, just put everything, and I'll show you more examples in our next video. We're putting everything into our bubble. So now, n plus 16. We need to get that bubble by itself. So we need to get the variable by itself. So step number 2, put it in a bubble. Step number 3, get rid or undo everything on the same side of the bubble. Oh, you can't see that. Okay, so get rid or undo everything. I can spell. On the same side of the bubble and on the outside of the bubble. Okay, so what I mean by that is, here's your bubble, here's your variable. So it is on this side right here. Do you see how we have our dotted line? So we're not touching this yet. So we're going to combine or get rid of, undo everything that is outside of this bubble, but on the same side as the bubble. Okay, so here it is. So then I see plus 16. So now we're going to do the opposite. So we're here at our inverse operation. So what is the opposite of a plus 16? The opposite of plus, I'm looking here, is a minus. So I'm going to minus the same thing twice. So this is why the dotted line is super important. You're going to subtract 16 on one side, and you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. This keeps things balanced. If you don't balance your equation, you don't have the correct setup, okay? You need to make sure you're balancing your equation by setting up this dotted line. I'm going to put a line underneath here, and I'm going to say n plus 16 minus 16, and on this side I have negative 1 minus 16. So if I have a plus and a minus, I have $16, I take away $16. These two undo each other, or they get rid of each other. Sometimes in math you'll hear cancel, but they undo each other. So then what's left over? I still have my bubble. I still have n left over. On this side, what do I have? I have negative 1 and I have negative 16. So at this point, if you need to use counters, use it. So I have negative 1 and I have negative 16. So I have negative 1 and negative 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So what do I have total? Do I have any zero pairs? Remember, a zero pair is a plus and a minus combined, which equal to 0. I don't have any pluses. I only have minuses. So what's my total? My total is negative 17, or 17 minuses. And then what does this red dot represent? What does this dotted line represent? This dotted line represented an equals. So here's our equals. And I'm going to bring down our equals here. So then what's our answer? Our answer is n is equal to negative 17. Okay, again, this is for one-step equations. It only took us one step to solve it. So draw a dotted line, put a bubble around your variable, get rid and undo everything on the same side of the bubble that's on the outside of the bubble. Step 4, we already did step 4, but I'm going to continue with writing out the steps. Steps 4, I'm going to combine like terms, simplify, and solve. And then I'm going to put step number 5. Your goal or objective is to get the variable by itself. So if you stop, for instance, I'm here, ask yourself this question. So it's going to be like a question. Did you get the variable by itself? Did you get the letter by itself? If you answer yes to that, then you have met the objective, you have met your goal, and therefore you have your final answer. If the answer is no, your variable is not by itself, therefore you must continue. Because these are one-step equations, most likely you're going to not have to combine like terms, and then your goal is going to be met with 1, maybe 2 steps. But since it's a one-step equation, it's going to be 1 step. All right, let's try another example. I'm going to switch pages. All right, let's do example number 2. And I do have my steps off to the side, so I'm just going to go through them. Step number 1. Oh, I need to write the question down first. I'm going to say negative 18 is, let me not, yeah, let's do that one. Negative 18, x minus 10. Step number 1 is draw a dotted line where your equals is. There it is. Now, it doesn't matter that you have your variable on the other side. Our steps still work, doesn't matter where your variable is. Okay, step number 1, draw the dotted line where the equals is. Step number 2, put a bubble around your variable. Here it is. Step number 3 is get rid or undo everything on the same side of the bubble and on the outside of the bubble. So our bubble's on this side. So everything that is outside this bubble, I need to undo. So I see a minus 10. I'm looking at my cheat sheet here. And the opposite, the inverse of subtraction or negative is addition. So I'm going to add 10 to both sides again. If you have done it once on this side, you have to do it again on the other side. So now I have negative 18 plus 10. And then here I have, I'm going to bring down my x, and I have negative 10 plus 10. Here I have $10 and I lose $10. Those go away. So then what do I have? I just have an x left over here. And then here, what do I have? I have negative 18 plus 10, okay? So first of all, I'll show you a way to do that. So I have negative 18 and I have a positive 10. So you can use counters if you want. But I'm going to show you another way. It might be quicker. Okay, so do we have more negatives or more positives? Well, I have negative 18, so I have 18 negatives, and I have 10 positives. So I know that I have more negatives, so my answer is going to be negative. How much more negative do I have? Well, I have 8 more negatives than positives. So I have negative 8. What does our equal represent? Excuse me, what does our line represent? Our line represents an equals. And ask yourself that question, did we get our variable by itself? And yes, we did. So our answer is x equals negative 8. Let's try example number 3. And we're going to say let's do this one. Negative 2r is equal to negative 10. Step number 1 is draw your dotted line. Step number 2 is put a bubble around your variable. So here's where it starts getting tricky with our steps. If I put a bubble around just r, we are going to, let's try that. So let's put a variable in a bubble and then ask yourself, let me back up. We put the variable in the bubble. Then we have times 2. And again, how do I know that? I'm looking at my operation. This is where it's super important to know. If you have a number and parentheses, it is multiplication. If you have parentheses and parentheses, it is multiplication. If you have a dot, it's multiplication. Now, if you have something that I did not add that I'm going to add right now, if you have a number next to a variable. This also is multiplication. In my class, we know that mathematicians are very lazy sometimes, and so if we can skip or not write something, we're going to do that. So instead of putting that dot there, mathematicians said, we're lazy, so we're not going to put it there. So even though you don't see a dot between your letter and your number, there is a dot there, meaning this is multiplication. So then again, how do we undo multiplication? Well, multiplication is undone by division. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to copy this down. So I'm going to say -2 times r, -10. I haven't really done anything. I just put a dot there. So then I'm going to divide -2 by -2. And I'm going to divide -10 by -2. So when I'm doing that, I am dividing by the same number on this side. And then on this side, I'm dividing both sides. So our objective here is same number. So I'm going to put a thinking bubble. So I'm going to say divide by the same number as numerator. And then here you are divide by the same number on both sides. Okay, now the reason we are dividing this side by -2 and not this side by 10 is because we still have our bubble. Here's our bubble. And we want to undo anything that's near our bubble. So here's -2. It is near our bubble, but it is outside our bubble. So we're going to divide by -2 both sides. So then on this side, -2 divided by -2, because it is the same on top and bottom, that gets simplified to just 1, and our negatives turn into a positive. And then I just have r. So I'm going to bring down my r. This dotted line is an equals. And then here I have I have -10 divided by -2. First of all, a negative and a negative make a positive. And then this says, here's my other thinking bubble. This says 2 times what is 10? And 2 times 5 is 10. So my answer is +5. Let's do one more example. So we've covered addition, we've covered subtraction, we've covered multiplication, and now guess what we're going to cover? We're going to cover division. So here is example 4. And example 4 is going to say -9 is equal to n divided by 18. Again, put our variable in a bubble. Oh, I skipped number 1. Not number 1, step number 1. Step number 1 is make sure you have your dotted line. Okay, so what do we have? We have division. How do we undo division? By multiplication. What do you multiply by? The same number. So if I'm trying to divide by 18, I have to multiply by 18. And you have to do that for both sides. So I'm going to rewrite that. So I have -9 and I have n divided by 18. So I'm going to multiply by 18 and I'm going to multiply by 18 both sides. So now I have -9 times 18 is equal to 18 times n divided by 18. So now we're back into simplifying fractions. And so how do we simplify fractions? Well, if you have the same number on top and bottom that is also being multiplied, they undo each other, so we get to cross them out. So 18 and 18 gets crossed out. What is left over? N is left over on this side. So we're going to bring it down. And then what is 19 and 18 multiplied together? Well, here's the thing. I know, first of all, I have one negative. That one negative is going to be brought down. So my final answer is negative. Off to the side, I'm doing a thinking bubble because honestly, I truly don't know what 18 times 9 is. So I'm gonna do it the long way. Now in Integrated Math 1 and in Algebra 1 in our class, we don't allow calculators, so you should be able to multiply things like that in a thinking bubble off to the side. So make sure that you're able to do that. So 8 times 9 or 9 times 8 is 72. I'm gonna bring that 7 up top. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 7, and that is 16. So I already have my negative here because I already have one negative, so I'm going to bring that one negative down. And then I have my 16. Oh, just kidding. Then I have my 162. So ask yourself the question, is your variable by itself? Did you solve for your variable? If it is by itself, in our case, n is by itself, then you are done and you have reached your final answer. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching how to solve one-step equations. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. Contact me so we can set up a tutoring time. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I truly hope you enjoyed this video and you have learned a bunch. Thank you.